What up?
Oh, hello, what's
GLive.
up?
What's up,
It's your
GLive?
boys, Willo and Duane. Happy
Yum.
Monday, you guys.
Happy
Happy Monday,
Monday.
Willow.
Happy Monday, Dwayne. So we'll wait for a couple of people to log in to the stream, to check in the
Yeah,
stream before we go and talk about news and other things today.
yeah.
Yum. If you're on the stream now, say hello, say good evening. Oh no! Hi, Danilyn. Good evening to you. Mark Ellis first again. Naunahan ka ng feeling ko mga 2 seconds lang yun ni Danilyn. Hello, Sam. Welcome to the stream. Also, hello,
Competitive.
Ademar. Welcome to the stream, guys. Um, is this music too loud? I want to know if it's too loud for you guys or if you guys can hear us fine, then okay lang. Mas maganda may music habang nagtatalk. Sad.
Yeah.
Sayang, Mark. Like, I think it was like 2 seconds. Sad pero happy face. Yan, dapat happy lang tayo, guys. We're also on YouTube, so if you guys want to share the stream on Facebook or if you want to share the stream na nasa YouTube, please do check us out there also. For those who like watching videos on YouTube, please do subscribe in our YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time we post or when we go live.
Ah,
Pa-
spe-
Parang praktisado na yung lines na yun. No?
yeah. Hit that notification icon, like and subscribe. And this episode, especially, it's a great episode to share to your friends, especially to your friends who are pretty new or haven't played any board games, because we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about board game basics, terminologies, and jargons in board gaming.
Yes. Quickly lang, let me just share the stream and also check if you guys can hear us properly with the music.
Yeah, if the music is too loud, just let us know. In my end, it's like, chill lang, chill vibes. We also have a question for the stream, which is, since we're talking about jargon or terminologies in board gaming, so what is the favorite gaming jargon that you have encountered? So it could be board gaming, because we're talking about board games, or it could be any kind of games that you have encountered.
Yan.
And
Rinig
tell
naman
us a
but
story, because we
be a
want to
little
know.
softer.
Maybe there's a lot of jargons out there. Maybe we would learn something new also today.
Should be soft enough. There you go.
Mhm.
Mark Ellis already answered the question of the stream.
Awesome.
He's saying, I like how we have the term meeple for the mini people used in some games. I like that term also.
Yes.
Hello, Gershwin. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the help. Sige, at the 5-minute mark, we're going to be starting our GLive news. But right now, let's get some more people into the stream. Please do share the stream kung sa YouTube man or sa Facebook. Yeah, so we can help you guys help other people get into the hobby.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why we're doing this. We want to get more people into the hobby, grow our community, and I can imagine someday in the future where we'll all go back to board game cafes and play board games in real life,
Yes.
and then we're like, hey friends, we're gonna play board games because it's super fun.
Yeah. Okay, there it is. Sige. All right. Welcome 18 people to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna be starting with our GLive news
Yes, we
prepared
do
by
have
the
some
one
news.
and only Dwayne Kalang.
I'm your field reporter, Pasok. Yeah, so we do have some news for today. And we every Monday we do have some geek related news, and first up is we have a new game that's sweeping the cryptocurrency world. It is
Yeah.
called Axie Infinity.
Yeah.
Axie Infinity is a online game where people earn while they play games.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there it's an NFT. It's a jargon which means non-fungible token. That means the axes they're non-fungible, so they are unique and you cannot copy it. Uh, you can earn while battling, and we have a quick trailer
Quick trailer.
video.
Yeah.
Yes, and then so that we can learn more about what's Axie Infinity.
Non-fungible. You can't fungible it.
Yeah, you can punch it.
Is a digital pet community where players can sell their in-game characters for real money using the Ethereum blockchain.
Those are super cute.
Players read their axes to
They are
discover
cute.
exciting new combinations.
Make love.
Axes start off as eggs and require love and attention from their owners to grow up.
Aww.
Ooh,
Baby Axie.
and you raise them.
Get their axes and earn experience points by completing daily activities.
Oh no, they're fighting.
You raised a killer.
Like one, like you do.
Use experience points to level up your axes and unlock new abilities which can be used in battle. You can even trade your axes for cryptocurrency on our marketplace.
Yeah.
Find out more on axieinfinity.com. Available now.
Oh, so that's
Mm.
Axie.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
We have a comment. Sam says, "I know people using Axie as a side hustle, and it's going really well for them." Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I'm also playing Axie, and it's going really well. They just fixed the servers, and to be honest, the game's not bad. Like as a board gamer, as a card uh gamer, it's not too basic and it's not too heavy for it to be like a repetitive thing. So you can get yung small love potions, but yeah, SLPs, yeah. So yeah, that's one of the news. Dwayne.
Um since we talked about Axie, what is the closest board game you can think that
Hmm.
like Axie would
Closest I
be?
would think, if you guys played Keyforge, but instead of playing cards to play monsters, you only have cards to play powers to try to defeat the other team.
Mm,
The gameplay goes that way, except yung the turn order is based on the axie, not the player. If that makes any sense. So if I have three fast axes, I all of them go before you. But if you have one, let's say in between my third and my second, then it's me, then you, then me, then you, and then you. So that's how turns goes. Energy is basically the name of the game, and then yung pag attack. But it's very close, a little bit, very close to Keyforge. A little bit of like um who has turn orders na attacking. It's so hard
ah,
to ano.
well, Pokemon. I can see a little
Yeah,
bit of Pokemon
yeah,
there.
Pokemon. If that's yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Pokemon, our next news is about the latest game in the Pokemon franchise. It is Pokemon Unite.
Ooh.
Pokemon Unite is the latest in the long line of Pokemon games, and it is a MOBA. It is similar to to League of Legends or Dota 2. Uh, and for the uninitiated like me, MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. And
Yes.
we do have a trailer also
We
for
do, we
that.
do. We have trailers for all of our news tonight. So yeah. So here is the trailer for Pokemon Unite.
They start as their pre-evolution.
Yeah, the lowest, their starter evolutions, right? It's really cool, guys.
It is. I mean, you have your favorites like Pikachu, Charizard, and even new
Snorlax.
Pokemon.
Snorlax is here, right?
Yeah, Snorlax is here. Scorbunny is Gen 8. Wow, Gen 8. We have Absol. That's Lucario, yeah. Doing Aura Sphere.
Ooh. It's basketball.
Yeah, you dunk on a goal. Ah!
Of course. The Bida.
Yeah, of course.
Block it, Pikachu! Hey.
Yay!
That's Pokemon
That's
Unite.
Pokemon Unite.
I won't play it anymore. No, no worries. We're here naman reacting. Eh. Sabi ni Sam, ano, baka ma-copyright strike kayo. Nintendo is aggro sa copyright na. Don't worry. We're talking above it, and
Yeah.
we're on the side.
This is a reaction video basically. So and and then we're gonna react to it. So Pokemon Unite again, it's a MOBA.
Mhm.
It just released recently for Nintendo Switch users, and then it will be released to mobile devices sometime in September.
Nice.
It's fun. I played it with my friends, and it's a MOBA. Each battle is around 10 minutes, so it's
Yeah.
I because it's my first time. I just heard that it's quicker than the other games. Plus, you have your favorite Pokemon. So you have
Yeah.
20 Pokemons to choose from, and I think they will release more Pokemons uh, as time goes on.
Yeah, I think what's cool about it is they kind of changed the MOBA experience. It was usually like you go here, break the towers, by hitting it, and then just continue until the base, diba? In this one,
Hmm.
I think you have to kill the capture pala. It's not killing. You don't kill here. I think, yeah. You capture the yung PVE, the
You so in a normal battle, it's a 5-on-5 battle, and then you what
yeah,
they call that?
you get
You
pokeballs by killing the
you get
other.
energy,
Yeah,
and then you score. You dunk it in an opponent's goal,
yeah,
and
but
then
but then
whoever has more.
you can
Yeah,
steal also the energy from other people, right? When you
yes,
kill them, and then you
yes,
dunk it in their thing. Yeah, I've watched a few of them. You've experienced it. I think it's a really
yes.
fun change to the MOBA experience. Even the most the coolest part of it is yung seeing your Pokemon evolve in that 10 minute
Ah,
span of
yeah,
time, diba? Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's Pokemon Unite. If you have a Switch, it is free to play. You
There
just
you
have to
go.
download it in the Nintendo Store. So speaking of for our last piece of news for tonight, this one is very close to my heart because a new set in the Magic the Gathering is based on the wildly popular Dungeons and Dragons universe. So it is
Ooh.
Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. So our favorite classes of characters plus our monsters appear on our card form. And again, we do have a short trailer about
Yeah, this
the
one's very
game.
quick. Pop, ba, da, pop.
So how long have they been playing?
Uh,
I think 4 hours now.
Right, right. And what turn are they on?
Looks like 3.
Why did we all ride with Josh?
I don't know.
With that, my hero sheaths his sword, vowing to fight another day. My turn has ended.
Okay, my turn. All right. The silence on the battlefield is pierced by a screeching roar.
Now you got it.
The misty air leaps into a frenzy by the dull thump of flapping wings. The winds from the east have brought with them a harbinger of fire and destruction. But wait, what's that? In the distance, a horn sounds.
Yes.
The magic missile you meet in a tavern. Very familiar D&D icons, D&D staples.
There you go. A
Yes,
new set.
so it's a new set, and a lot of people are very excited about it because it's combining two big fandoms, the Magic community and the D&D community. They combine it in one awesome set. Plus, I guess if you're playing in if you're a D&D player, like, wow, I know these references and the cards they have flavor text, and you can really feel why the mechanic would be that way, because it makes sense if you're a D&D player. If you're not a D&D player, the art is gorgeous. I think there are super spicy cards in the set that is relevant in a lot of formats in Magic. So if you're into Magic or in your D&D, this is a set that you want to try out.
There you go. So that's the geek news for tonight.
That
It
is
was,
the geek news for tonight.
Which is the first one?
It's Axie Infinity, Pokemon
Axie
Unite,
Infinity.
and Magic: The Gathering Adventures and the Forgotten
There you go.
Realms.
Let us know if you guys played any, if you've experienced any, or you've done your research on any of these games already. In the comments below.
Yes.
Yan, sabi ni Mark Ellis, Blastoise, si Squirtle, and si Gardevoir are next for
Yes.
releases. That's exciting. Pokemon is always exciting, lalo na if they have new a new game. Yan.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go into the meat of the show tonight. We're gonna be talking about
Indeed.
board game basics, terms, and jargon. So if you guys are new to board gaming, or if you want someone, your friends, to learn about board gaming, maybe now's the time to share it to them. We're gonna be discussing a couple of words that may be normal for us board gamers when we hear certain things, pero for other people, it's very, very new.
Yeah.
So the way we're gonna do this is I've listed a couple of board gaming terms. I'm gonna spin the wheel. We're gonna pick one. It's gonna choose one for us, and then me and Dwayne are gonna try to explain it as
In
much
our
as
own
possible
words,
in our
yeah.
own words, trying to relate it with things na outside board gaming, and actually even so video gaming or anything. We're gonna try to make it as relatable as possible, and then we're gonna read a board game terminology guide from the Great Indoors to get it
Yes.
right for the people there. But yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yes, the reason why we're doing it is because we want to be as inclusive, and we embrace the hobby, right? And sometimes we might treat these words like worker placement or action selection like we already know that, but a lot of people, they feel intimidated when you have jargons like this. So you want to lower the entry, like, hey, you don't have to be intimidated. We're gonna teach you the meaning of the words, and maybe we'll also learn a thing or two about board gaming and gaming in general. So with that said, are you ready, Willow, to spin the wheel?
Yes, but before that, Ademar says, as a newbie to the hobby, I always get stumped every time the term Euro comes up. I hope it will be discussed in detail here. Okay, we'll see. All right, for our first word, we're gonna spin the wheel of board gaming terms.
Spin that wheel.
It's okay.
Victory point.
Victory point. I mean, syempre
Okay.
for us, very, very basic. I guess you can go first, Dane.
Yeah, victory points from the root. I think it's in the root word victory. Not kidding. So those are the points that you accumulate in the game, and most games, whoever has the most victory points wins.
Yep.
So throughout the game, you get them. So there are some in-game victory points, so you collect them while in-game, and then there are some games that you collect the victory points at the end of the game, and then you
Yeah.
compute.
Yeah. Sige, my turn. I guess victory points are ang hirap explain. No, they're coined VPs or victory points.
VPs,
I
yeah.
I would explain to you guys if you play sports, let's say basketball, these are your the points. These are the scores. At the end of the game, who has the most points wins. Why did they make it called victory points? Because there are different points in other games that
Yes.
are used also. Let's say action points,
Energy points.
energy points, all of these. So the best way to explain it to you guys are the made baskets. Ito yung victory points scored, and then let's say like assists or blocks or all of these stats can be those other points. So
Yes.
ito yung nagmamatter at the end of the game, whoever, para to say who is the winner. There you go.
I agree. Let's look at the definition.
Let's
by
look at the
great
definition.
inhibitors. Did we get it correct?
Victory points, the standard method of measuring success in a Eurogame. I don't think
Okay,
this is but okay. Players will attempt to earn victory points by completing certain tasks. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game is the winner. I think we nailed it.
I think
We
we nailed it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Sam says her
Uh,
favorite board game jargon is point salad. Is it also one of your favorite games? Okay.
Do
I
we
guess
have
we're gonna
point salad in the list? Will we encounter it, or should we discuss point salad?
Actually, we can discuss point salad since it's not here. Quickly,
Yeah.
Dwayne na lang. You can.
Okay. So, a point salad is from the root word salad, where you have many things, like you have the lettuce, the tomatoes, the onions. You try to. It's a game where there are many ways to score victory points,
Mhm.
and you try to collect all of those points and try to make the most healthy or delicious salad. So you earn points in different ways.
Mhm.
That I think is my closest definition of point salad.
Yeah. Best example for a point salad is actually point salad the game, or if you want like a heavier game, if you know Five Tribes, is a point salad. Most Euros are point salads. If you've heard that term, since may nagtanong na rin about Euros, most Euros are point salads, because you get these points from all these different ways. Like there are different ways to score points. Yeah. Okay. If you want to
Okay.
know, if you guys want to learn terms or jargon, you can just comment
You
it.
just
We're
comment below. If it's
Yeah.
not in the list, we're gonna quickly discuss it. But if it's
Yeah.
in the list, we'll just say it's in the list. Hopefully, it comes up.
Our next word.
Our next word.
Spinning fastly.
Meeple. I don't have a meeple.
Okay.
going.
I think this was explained by Mark Ellis. Let me bring it up kanina. He said, Meeple is mini people used in some games. Yeah. So
Yes.
yes, it's basically what it is. I know if you hear Meeple from other people, parang ano yung
Parang,
Meeple?
what meeple?
What is a
I'm
meeple?
scandalized.
But it's a small token shaped like a small person. That's why it's
Yes.
mini people. Kaya Meeple. There you go.
Meeple.
I think we can check. We should check. Sige, we'll check. It
Do we
says
have
a
a
small.
picture of a meeple?
I'll search a small figure used as a playing piece in certain board games having a stylized human form. Generally, they exist to show that an action spot or area has already been used by the corresponding player. There you go.
Joram said, kapag
I like it.
madami, it's madlang meeple. Ah,
Madlang
Joram!
maliliit na tao.
I like it.
Let
Where's
me
Gino? Gino, you're
quickly.
not here in the stream. Someone's gonna take for your pun crown. Your
Yeah, let me pull it
pun
here quickly
gaming.
for you guys. There,
Good
this is a
job.
meeple. A small person
Yes.
token. Yan. They're generally this shape, but there are actually other shapes of meeples.
Yeah. There are meeples with hats. There are
Yes.
giant meeples.
With weapons. Yeah.
There are meeples that you can attach weapons to it. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yeah, this one I am same with Mark. The first time I encountered this, but like meeple, what are those? And miniature meeple. Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right. That's a
Okay,
meeple.
yeah,
This is actually fun. Okay, we hide that
this is
choice.
actually super fun.
Okay, we're gonna spin.
Spin the wheel.
This is area control. Sorry, I
Area
misspelled.
control. It's
Area
okay.
control.
Okay. Area control is in a game where there is a map or regions. You try to take control of a certain area, and
Mhm.
usually the game would reward you for uh, securing a certain area.
Yes.
Like, for example, in a popular game, Rising Sun, it's a war game. Uh, you have like your miniatures, your small pieces. You put them on the map. You move them around. If you have the most in a certain area, the most power, or the strongest, you have control on the area, and usually you get points from controlling the area.
Yeah.
So area control.
I think that's it's basic for us since we know that it's like area control. Yan, small world yan. There you go. Blood
Yeah,
rage
yeah.
yan or something like that. But to explain to like people, it's basically if you're paano ko ba i-explain to? If you're like let's say
Sige, let's think of a real world.
yeah, like let's say you're in the Jeep.
You're in the Jeep.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know how I'm gonna make this work. Let's say you're in the Jeep. Let's say you want to have the most comfortable ride going home.
Or you're in UV Express. You control the
That
the
section, that
passenger
section. Yeah,
side.
there you go. Yeah, it's generally if you have control of the area, it's basic. Parang you'll get bonuses.
Yes.
That's the general of area control. Gershwin says King of the Hill. There you go.
Yeah.
And then
King of the
Kevin,
Hill.
thank you, Small World, sabi ni Kevin.
So usually it's in a war game or in a combat heavy game where you try to fight off like other players or invaders. So you try to secure your own little territory. Like
Okay, wait. Should we? Okay. Quickly, area control. You're not referring to the West Philippine Sea issue, and then Jerome says West Philippine Sea. I guess that's the most relatable one. I went quick para hindi masyado ano.
okay, yes.
There you go.
Yes and yes. Okay, moving on.
Mark Ellis, we do have I don't think it's here in the list, so we will get into it. Sabi niya, I remember the jargon trick taking.
Okay.
Easiest for me, easiest na relatable is if you guys play cards, yung mga Puseidos, or like a
Hearts in the Microsoft 98, Windows 98.
Basically, a trick taking game is you win. You set a trick. A trick could be like two of the suits, or even a single card can be a trick, and then whoever has the best version of that trick takes the winning condition. If you guys know, if you play horse, I think that's the easiest. If you play horse, someone sets a trick, and then if you've done the trick the best, you win that parang pot or the win condition. There you go. But maybe
Yeah,
Dwayne has
parang
a better example.
okay, for example, you have your standard deck of cards. You have different suits, so you hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. So you have that. You shuffle them out, and then you get some cards. There would be one player that would usually set the trick. So I will play a card, and it would be of a certain suit. Say I say, I play a 10 of hearts. The next player should play a card that follows that suit. Like if he has a heart, follow the heart. Or if he cannot, he plays something else. Then we evaluate all the cards played, and then the winner will get the pile of cards, and then will become the new one that will set the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically it is a mechanic. It's a mechanic.
Yeah, there you go. We do have comments. Pusoy Dos is more of a card shedding ladder climbing game. In Pusoy Dos kasi when you win the trick, you get to set the next trick. That's my example. I guess yun lang
Yeah.
kasi yung dumating sa ano ko. Mark Ellis says the oldest game I think that uses trick taking is Free Cell, a card game. And then Kelvin also
Free
says Hearts and
Cell.
Bridge are trick taking games. Yan.
Hearts.
I guess
Hearts.
to make it like very very simple. Parang for me like trick taking, my ano of trick taking is kunyari pagalingan tayo ng lolo. Wala ka sa lolo ko ganyan, and whoever has the best lolo is the winner. That's I guess that's the easiest trick taking. Very basic. May pwede pang iano na.
Yeah,
I don't think it's dito sa game terminology, so we can't really define the ano. But we're gonna go to our next. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Our next.
Medyo tricky. Medyo tricky ang trick taking.
Okay, we're gonna spin for our next word. Thank you to everyone helping us pala.
Yeah, thank you.
Explain.
Because
It's really fun. Okay,
because
drafting.
sometimes we also have an idea of how this mechanic work, but it's hard to distill down to its
Yes.
basic form.
Yes.
For example, this drafting.
Drafting.
Okay. Drafting is parang a mechanic wherein usually a game would shuffle cards, will deal them out to you, and then you have a set of cards.
Mhm.
You look at your set of cards, and then you choose one of them. Pick one, set them aside, and then you pass the rest, the cards that you didn't choose, to your next player. The
Mhm.
same time, the players, for example, you pass it to your left, the player to your right will also pass the cards to you.
Yeah.
So you draft. Like in sports, in sports we have drafting. So we have a pool of players, and then the teams would choose in an order who to draft.
Yeah. It's basically choosing the best thing for you at that turn. It could be
Yes.
that shuffling thing that Dwayne explained. It could also be just a set of
An open
choices.
choices. Yes.
Yeah. But you take turns in choosing something, and then usually if we're gonna be talking about drafting as a game,
Game mechanic. Yes.
it's ang hirap na.
Yeah.
It's generally it adds points to your best way to add points to your score. That's I think that's the
But you want to form your best team.
Yeah.
Or you want to have like a good set of cards that would like work together with each other.
There you go. Good examples of drafting: Sushi Go, Seven Wonders,
Sushi Go,
Seven
Seven
Wonders Duel.
Wonders, Duels. A lot of games employ drafting mechanics. So at least now, if you see that this game is a card drafting, parang okay, gets ko na yan. Kasi Willo and Duane told us what's drafting.
But drafting doesn't necessarily mean cards. It could be
Yes.
tiles. It could be dice.
It could be dinosaur meeples
Yes.
in Draftosaurus.
So it's there's choices that you choose from, and you're trying to form the
You
best
choose.
choice per turn. Demar kasi is asking, drafting goes hand in hand with deck building, right? Not necessarily.
I Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes if a game is a deck building game, so like a good example here is Magic. Magic the Gathering. There's a format in Magic the Gathering which is draft.
Yes.
You all have like a booster pack. You open up, so there are cards there. You look at them. You choose one. You say, this dragon, I like it. You keep it in your hand. Then you pass it
Mhm.
around. You do it multiple times, and you try to form a deck. So
Mhm.
that's like the first part of the game. After that, you build your deck, which is another whole thing with Magic,
And then you
and
play.
then you play with the deck that you have.
Yeah. So you're trying to form the best team. I think that's the easiest and a good analogy. We do have more comments. Calvin says
Keep it
drafting
coming.
usually leads to building your tableau or displaying in your area. That is
Agree.
agreed. Point salad is also drafting. Yes, it is actually drafting
Yes.
because you have
It's
actually 9 choices from the game. Point salad the game, not point salad the term. Baka ba ano tayo? And then
confusing.
and then Mark Ellis says sana all napipili. Hashtag drafting. Oh.
Well,
Next game night we'll choose you.
I'm thinking about it. I mean, in life and in love,
Yes,
sometimes you
Dwayne.
are drafted,
Okay.
but sometimes
Okay.
you're reserved
It's
to
not the
another
right
person.
time. There
It's
you
not
go.
the
Yeah.
right time. It's
Not the
not
right person to pick you.
that person will not score you victory points.
There you go.
Yeah,
So don't forget about that person.
yeah. If you're not drafted, chill lang.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone will draft you.
Okay, we're gonna spin for the next word. I think drafting pala. Sorry, drafting is supposed to be here.
Drafting. Yeah, let's check it out.
There you go. Drafting is when a player chooses an available item, often a card
Mhm.
or a tile, from a selection open to the other players. There you go. We were right there.
Yeah,
This
very
may be
correct.
in traditional sense of being handed a selection of cards, which is the sushi go way,
Yeah,
choosing one and passing the rest on, or indeed selecting something from a public pool open to all players. There you go. So we have
yeah.
examples: Seven Wonders, Sushi Go, or even First Class. This is an old article.
Wow,
So
this is
yan. Our next term.
a next term.
There you go.
Oh,
This
this
was
one.
this is commented by ano kanina, Gershwin. Favorite board game jargon and genre is worker placement. So what is worker placement? Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about meeples already, and
Mhm.
usually they represent as workers. Usually in a game, you have a set number of workers, and then there is a game board in front of you. There are areas on the game board where you can send your meeple or your worker. For example, your favorite game, Willow, viticulture. So, for
Mm.
example, my worker is a farmer. Will go to the shop, and when he's in the shop, he will get seeds for the grapes.
Yep.
Another player, usually in a worker placement game, there's only a limited number of spaces a worker can go to. So, for example, someone is already in the shop, no one else can go into the shop because the area is already occupied. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is I think my best definition of a worker
A worker like.
placement game.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Worker
definition of
placement.
a worker placement game is basically there are spots on a limited spots on the board, and you place your worker to do that spot. That's I think that's very easy to understand. To make it relatable, no. Um I guess if you're in a company, you want to put people in certain
Roles,
departments.
yeah,
Yeah,
departments.
that's basically it. I think that's the best, ano. And then you're not gonna get them back and then put them in other roles, but sa board games na lang yun, I think. But
Or like in a project, like you send them to do a project.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. There are just examples of worker placement games, no. Viticulture, Agricola, easier ones. Do we have easier worker placement games? Lords of Waterdeep.
Lords of
Um
Waterdeep.
Yeah. Basically,
Stone
it's a
Age.
limited area. Meron mas there are games that are more cutthroat than other worker placement games. Like in actually Lords of Waterdeep is kind of nice pa. But there are some, let's say, Architects of the West Kingdom, very cutthroat. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Speaking of worker placement, usually in a worker placement game, you start with only a few workers, and there's a spot, an area where you can go there and hire more workers to
yeah,
help you out,
or make
uh,
more.
or make more.
Yeah.
There are also games like Architects of the West Kingdom, where you start with a lot of workers and
Yeah.
you send them out, but it's still worker placement.
Yeah. If you guys don't have terms to comment, comment na lang games that are related to the term that we're saying. So like what Sam says here, worker placement, Mint works. That is right. Mint works.
Mint
Very
works.
very basic worker placement, but
Agree.
very still very good. Yan. Let's see what board gaming term says. Worker placement. Oh, it's a long one.
Did we?
Okay.
Did we? Oh.
This mechanism requires players to choose individual actions from a selection available to all players, usually by placing a worker or meeple, good thing we discussed what the
Mm.
meeple is, in their own player color. Players generally choose actions one at a time and in turn order. If the game is
Mhm.
structured in
Oh.
rounds, then all actions are usually refreshed so that they become available again. There is usually a limit on the number of times a single action may be chosen in the same way for the same price. Once that limit is reached, an action can longer be taken until a subsequent round or until the action space is no longer occupied by another player. As such, not all actions can be taken by all players in a given round, and action blocking can occur. A variant of this is where a player must pay more in money or workers to use an action that was previously used. I like how detailed
Yeah,
he
I think
explains it.
we can unpack a lot of things. So first is there's usually a limit on
Yes.
the number of times.
Mhm.
Uh, this also discussed that after a round, it will refresh you. Usually, that is the time when in our play group would say, the workers would come home, like uwi na sila,
Uwi
they
na.
will come back to their own house, and uh, there are also variants where the player must pay more or use a special worker to use an action that has been previously used. So there
Yeah.
is blocking involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very clear
There you go.
explanation. Yeah.
I'm also
Okay.
actually learning.
I'm learning how to explain it. It's
Yeah.
very yeah. Okay, our next word, if no one else is commenting. Pop, para, pop, pop.
Pap, para, pap, pap.
At tile laying.
Tiling.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. So uh, in this game mechanic, you have like tiles. Usually, the tiles are either square or hexagon. And on your turn, you put a tile down on the board, and during the course of the game, the board becomes bigger and bigger because you put down more and more tiles. And while
Mm-hmm.
doing that, you score points. A good example for this is Carcassonne. So you have tiles of certain types of land. So for example, you have fields, you have rivers, you have roads, and you have castles. And there is usually a limitation on where would can you put a new tiles. For example, the castle can only be connected to another castle piece. So a
Mm-hmm.
road will only connect to a road. A field will connect to a field, or something
Yeah.
like that. And then you as you progress in the game, the board becomes bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
That's tiling.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, tiling is of course you have a tile, placing it in a certain way on your board to get to benefit you. That's
To benefit
that's
you, I
my
agree.
Yeah. For what Dwayne explained, no, it's like Carcassonne where you're trying to form a bigger thing. There are games kasi like Suburbia. It can be anywhere, but it benefits you most here on this area. Basta
Yeah.
it you add to a board, not necessarily your own, to
Yeah,
benefit
it
you.
could be
Yeah.
a common board or it could be your own board.
Yes. This is a
Yes.
mechanic. There are games that only have tile laying, but there are also games that mix tile laying with other mechanics. We do have Ademar saying Carcassonne, Joseph also saying King Domino.
King
King Domino
Domino.
is
Agree.
actually a really good tile laying game, but is also a
A
drafting game.
drafting game.
Yeah, because you're choosing from
Yes.
the yeah.
Good job.
Scrabble, technically
Scrabble.
correct. Yes,
Yes.
it is a tile
Because
laying
you
game. You
you
lay down
are
lines.
laying down letter tiles. And then
Yes,
there are
and
certain rules where you can put down the tiles which is in Scrabble. It must form a legal word.
yeah.
Takenoko,
Uh,
yes.
Takenoko is also it's one of the games that has tile laying, but is a mechanic inside the game. Yeah.
Yes.
Scrabble is actually a very good example, no? Kasi you can technically put words in a certain put the tiles in a certain way, but doesn't benefit you the most.
Yes.
Yeah, yan. And also there are rules to putting the tiles on. Yeah. So that's tile laying. Let's see what tile laying is for our friend here. The tile laying refers to a mechanism where players place tiles into the playing surface. This genre could probably be further subdivided into, there are a lot, tiling. Eurogames, where the placement of the tiles directly score victory points, like Suburbia or Castles of Mad King Ludwig. And then economic games, where players are trying to create goods or manage resources, like in Keyflower or Glenmore. Sobrang classic na list. And exploration games, where tiles are laid out to form a map, like Expedition Northwest Passage or Jargon, or maybe to better Betrayal on the House of the Hill. And he also
It's a
says,
telling game.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are also games that combine one or more of these subgenres, or else feature tile laying game as part of a wider game, like Mage
Oh,
Knight.
I also thought about another tiling game that is quite familiar. Tsuro,
Oh yeah, yeah. A
where
legal way of putting a tile and benefiting you the most. I think that's the
yes.
nice.
Nice.
Thank you for all your. Let's add more to
Yeah,
your comment.
you guys are awesome. If you can think of games that would fit into the term, like this one,
Hidden movement.
hidden movement.
Okay, very basic. Let's just get it from the word mismo. It's hidden movement. Basically, a player moves without the other player knowing where he moved. I think that's it's disguised. It's a way to do your turn or to do actions that is not known to the other players.
Yeah.
Example
So
of this is Fury of the Dracula, or even just Mr. X. If you guys, Mr. X yung term na. Scotland Yard, sorry. Scotland Yard. And then Sam says Letters of Whitechapel, which they got from Scotland Yard, and Spectre Ops also.
Spectre Ops, yes.
There you go.
So in a hidden movement game, uh, usually there would be a map on the board, and then there are like points, and there would be a person who has like a little notebook that is, and then he can track down his movements there. Like, gonna write down, I went here, I went here, I went here. The other players, usually they're trying to find where is that person moving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hidden movement because the other players, they don't know where the other player is moving, and that in the course of the game you either find the person is hidden and you win, or the person who's hidden is able to escape.
Yeah.
And that's how the hidden movement game works.
Yeah. Kelvin says hidden movement is a nice mechanic. It is just hard to teach. I agree. And every
I
time I like
agree.
play a hidden movement game, lalo na with non-board gamers, which I normally do, it's me who always plays as the one being chased. kasi they don't want to be chased or they don't know wanna do. Would stop thief count as a hidden movement although AI yung nagmo-move? I would say yes. The app right now moves dun sa map for you, but you still hear where some clues where they are going. So it is technically a hidden movement game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it is. Hidden movement explained. This term applies to when one or more players manipulate their progress through a game, generally without marking their position on a board. That's a
Mhm.
good explanation. A fair comparison would be to call these games a variation of hide and seek. Players
Hide and
must
seek.
use attributes like logic, cunning, bluffing, and teamwork to ultimately succeed. There you go.
I think
Uh,
like it's like what's that children's game, Marco Polo,
mhm.
when one is blindfolded and then everyone else will be like,
In the pool, yeah.
Marco Polo, and then
Polo.
you're like
Yeah.
you're trying to find them but you can't see them. So it's like a hidden movement game.
There you go. If you want to try easy games, though, Sam is recommending Letters of Whitechapel or Whitehall Mysteries. I think Whitehall Mysteries is the smaller version, so you might want to start with that. And she says, pero yeah, tense if ikaw si Jack. And then Kevin says also the Mr. Jack series. Yes, that is a
Yes.
hidden movement deduction game. Yeah, nice. Okay, our next.
Good.
We have more, no?
We do
Let's
have
see.
more. But I think we're discussing a lot of Solitaire.
Yes. Solitaire. In terms of board gaming, Solitaire is basically solo games. Meaning you're playing
Ah.
playable alone. That's basically Solitaire.
This is okay. This is new for me. I mean, like, what? There's a term called solitaire, and okay,
Solitaire games, yeah. I do play solitaire games. I do have Viticulture is one. Tiny Epic Galaxies is also one that I play. A solitaire only game is actually Hostage Negotiator, one that I recommend if you like tense dice rolling, yeah, with mitigation. Yeah. That's basically it. If you want to know what solitaire games are like, it's more of like playing a video game, but instead of everything being automated, you're moving the pieces for yourself.
yeah, or you're like trying to solve a puzzle or find the
Mhm.
most efficient way to score a certain amount of points.
In a number of turns. That's Kelvin says Under Falling Skies. Yes, it is a solitaire game. One that's very hard to get right now. Even us, we're trying to get it. Board game terminology says solitaire is a game that can be played by or is solely designed for one player.
A one-player game.
A one player game. Single player
Okay.
mode for video games, says Joram. Yes, that is true. Yeah, yan yung solitaire games. If you like RPG games in video game terms, no, it's basically like that. Okay, next term.
I thought it was the hotel
Just-
and casino, but it's Solaire. But
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Sandbox game.
Sandbox game.
Okay, so this definition also shares it with the other in video games mostly. In a sandbox game, there are certain rules within the game, but most of the time, the game allows you to explore any or and all of the uh, available options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. I think the closest sandbox game that I can im- think of is Dungeons and Dragons, because you can basically do anything that you want in that game. And there
Mhm.
would be a dungeon master that would say, "You roll a dice, and we'll see if you're successful or not."
Yeah, I guess a sandbox game in like board gaming terms, no. um you're flooded with a whole bunch of choices.
Yeah.
You have all of these choices. You still have to follow rules, yes, but it doesn't limit you to one way of playing the game, if that makes sense. um you can para mas freeform siya. Western Legends is a really good example. Yan. Sabi ni Joram, parang choose your own adventure books. You're more limited to choose your own adventure books than in a sandbox game generally, I
Yeah,
think.
parang if the choices in a choose your own adventure book is infinite or close to infinite, that would be a sandbox game.
There you go. Kelvin says Western Legends and Saya. Saya to, diba? Yung drift system or
Sia.
something. Sia?
Siya ba yung
Saya.
singer ng Chandelier?
Ay. Are usually mentioned as a sandbox game. And then Kevin says Merchants and Marauders and Saya? Sia? Hindi ko alam.
Sia. Xia.
I'm probably I'm most certain mahaba yung explanation nito. This is not so. Mas mahaba pa yung worker placement. Okay. So a sandbox game is a design that lets players pretty much choose what they want to do within the rules.
Within the rules, yeah.
There you go. There's still rules, pero you can do pretty much anything basta hindi siya breaking the rules. Yeah. There will still be a clear way to win the game, but how players go about achieving victory generally comes down to them. Most games employ stricter design methods that provide definite routes to winning the game. A sandbox game is the opposite. Examples are Myth and Sia.
No, yeah, this is the first time I've heard of these games, so maybe something to take a look at, right?
Yeah.
Try
very nice term. Actually,
Okay.
not a lot. There are not a lot of sandbox games. I'm
Because
pretty sure.
I imagine it would be hard to design.
Yes, it is hard to design. Sorry, let me rephrase that. There are not a lot of good sandbox games currently in board gaming. Not a lot. Hindi siya abot ng 10. I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry if you think otherwise, but
Okay.
we spin for the next term.
So that's sandbox game.
Oh, there you go.
Eurogame.
A Eurogame. Something that I think was that
I think someone
Ademar?
commented.
Yeah, Ademar. Yeah.
Okay. The first misconception about this game is not necessarily a game designed by Europeans.
Yes, it is not.
Yes, that is number one. but the thing is, most of the time, a lot of games designed by German designers or French designers, they fall into this category. But definitely there are. It is not. Why was it called Eurogame?
It was
But
called.
anyway,
Do you want to know? It was called
I
Eurogames
actually don't know.
Kasi you're right. Most of the games of this that falls into the definition of Eurogame was made in Europe. It's
Oh,
the definition is mostly I don't know, but it's not thematic in a way. How do I explain this nicely? The mechanics don't perfectly resemble the theme of the game, if that makes sense.
ooh.
More of the mechanics instead of the theme.
Okay.
More concentrated on usually it's a point salad, or Eurogames are mostly point salads. So
Okay.
it's hard to now kasi there are really good Eurogames that are thematic,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
This is a good term to talk about because it's hard to pin down, but there are many tenets to a Euro game.
Mhm.
First thing that comes to mind when I think of Euro games is there is very little random factor,
Yep.
or that very little luck or very little randomness that would affect your game. It is usually a strategy, and like you can do this, and this. There are a little bit of randomness inserted, like maybe when you shuffle your cards, or maybe there's not th- there's not a lot of die rolling.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Generally.
dice are used, but they're in most Euro games they're used to as a placeholder for a worker, or like just the number of pips. Like it would say that this worker has a 5 strength, like
Mhm.
in the castles of Burgundy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a Eurogame. The next thing that I think about when I think about Eurogame is that uh, you have your own lane, you have your own strategy, and usually you don't have a lot of interaction with other. Not really a lot of interaction. There's not a lot of combat.
Confrontation.
There's not a lot of confrontation. Like in order you can do your own thing and win the game and not interact with other players.
Mhm.
And there are also interactions within a Euro game. For example, a lot of Euro games they use uh, worker placement, which we have discussed a while ago. So if
Yes.
you've taken an area, so essentially you have blocked another player. So that's an interaction, but it's indirect. You're not fighting directly.
Yeah. Okay. We have.
Lastly,
Yeah. Go ahead.
uh,
Sorry.
lastly, I think you also mentioned it is there are many ways to get victory points, and they're like scattered all over the board. So
Yes.
it's definitely a point salad, which we discussed a while ago.
Yes. Okay, we do have a couple of comments which I agree, and Sam says Euros are generally non-thematic, dry, and low luck.
Dry, low luck,
There you go.
high
Joram also says
strategy. Okay.
low conflict confrontation with other players, and Kevin says Blood Rage is a Euro.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's again we are I would like to preface this with a caveat. We're not saying that this game is definitely a Euro, because or if
Yeah.
in any of our discussions today, this game could be considered many things. I feel Blood Rage are is there's definitely a lot of combat involved.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
really like it's more of like a combat game, a war game.
Yeah. Also, we have a comment. Sam says Euros are also often brown.
Brown.
Very funny.
The
Um,
box is
Okay,
brown.
Euro games, to be honest, are very hard to like really pinpoint now. Lalo na now, no, the designs are being more
Agree.
thematic, because before, kasi the term Euro games, if you told me that like 2015, okay, so it's just a strategy game that I won't be battling with people. I'll just get victory points on my own. That's my but there are a lot of hybrids now. Oh, there you go. Kelvin says most gamers are hybrids now between Euros and Ameritrash, thematic, interactive, and luck driven. Yeah, you know what? We'll get into it. Ameritrash was said. I know it's on the list, but since we're talking about
Yeah, the
Eurogame
comparison
already,
between a
I
Euro
think
versus a Ameritrash.
yeah, there's the other spectrum naman, the Eurogame and then the Ameritrash. Don't we didn't coin this term. It's called Ameritrash because yung isa Euro game yung tinawag sa kanila. Usually Ameritrash are very thematic. As in my story, you roll dice, very colorful. That's the other spectrum of yung Eurogame. I think just to draw like a line dun sa dalawa. But to be honest, right now,
The lines are blurred.
the very blurry ngayon yung Eurogame and Ameritrash. I'm gonna read the article, but just to preface you guys, this was made in 2017, ha. So medyo
Okay.
malayo na yung nagawa natin kasi na ng board game.
Definitely.
Yan.
And I think the purpose of this discussion is again a guide. This is not a definitive na hey, Dwayne and Willow said that this is a Euro, therefore it is a Euro, or this game is not a Euro, therefore it's not a Euro. No, it's not that. We just want to preface this, like for example, someone says it's a Euro game. Maybe you can
You
expect
may
a certain
yes.
type of game na para
Yeah.
okay, so this game is more strategy based, and you have to plan things out, something
Okay.
like that.
Here you go. Eurogame. Though not all Euro games are designed or produced by Europeans, like we said,
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
share a set of similar characteristics. A game not fit all the criteria to be considered a Eurogame. However, most Eurogames will contain these elements. One, player conflict is indirect and usually involves competition over resources or points. Combat
Yeah.
is extremely rare. Number two, the win condition is usually to earn the most victory points. That's actually a good of Eurogames. No?
Mhm.
Players, number three, players are not eliminated from the game. All players are
Oh
still playing when
yeah.
the game ends. Number four, there is very little randomness or luck. Randomness can usually be mitigated by having the player decide what to do after a random event happens rather than before, and dice are sometimes used but often replaced by cards. Number five, more attention is paid to the mechanisms that make the game work rather than the theme or presentation of the game. Example would be yung artwork and yung components. Plastic and metal pieces are rare. More often, components are made out of wood or thick cardboard. Last, Eurogames often have a theme that has little or nothing to do with the gameplay. For instance, in Kalos is a game about building a castle for King Philip the Fair in 1289. In reality, a different theme could have been used, and it is not the central focus of the game. I think that matches the way
Yeah.
we described it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
think
hope
we missed out yung player elimination.
yeah, most
There's
most
no player
Eurogames no player
elimination. Yeah.
elimination. That is true. But I hope Ademar, you're the term Eurogame is clear for you. But to be honest, right now, just play the games that you enjoy. You don't have to say if it's a Eurogame or a merry thrash. Thrash. Yeah, and sabi kasi ni Sam, the more polite term now is Ameritrash. That's true. I heard that from somewhere.
I don't know why they called it Ameritrash. Probably like
No, kasi more on mas yung mga board gamers sa Europe dati. So our is better than yours. Joke lang. I don't know.
I guess.
Joram
Pero
says,
I'm like, go ahead.
looks at Sam's comment. I think this was Brown talking about Brown, and then looks at my Stone Age game, and then yep. And then Sam adding to the discussion to highlight the high conflict nature, not the games. Dahil sa Ameritrash. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ademar says, well, America certainly has high conflict rate with its people recently. So, yan. Okay, next term. Binibilis ako lagi pag may something, But I hope that made it a bit clearer for you.
Oh yeah. We discussed it. Ameritrash.
What are the chances? I was hoping that it would do that, but I didn't know it would do that. Grabe. Well,
Okay.
the luck in this.
Again, caveat, we are not the ones who coined the term
Tableau builder.
tableau builder. Oh, okay.
Table
So, tableau. First part in this word is the tableau. So usually you try to collect either cards or tiles, and you put it in your area in front of you, and you call it your tableau. And when you when you add more things into your tableau, they interact with each other. They give you resources or coins or victory points, and you in the course of the game you build them. Uh, a good example for a tableau builder would be Splendor,
Mhm.
wherein you try to get cards representing gem merchants, and the more cards that you have, it becomes a discount when you try to get higher value cards.
very well explained. A tableau builder basically is a collection of components that benefit you throughout the game or to make you win. Depende dun sa ano. But it's something it's something a collection that you build in front of you.
Yeah.
That I don't know. That I think that's tableau. Everyone said that the spinner is rigged, but I didn't know that would happen. Joram says silver amulet, bullet, coin, and dagger. Yes, those are tableau builders. Seven wonders and wingspan. Seven wonders, a drafting game, and
Not
also
tableau
a
builder.
tableau builder. Wingspan, you get that collection of
birds
birds into your
into your aviary.
aviary. There you go. Mark Ellis, I still remember the GL story on Splendor as a game with that the Carlos story. Yeah. Si Mr. What did we call him? Mr. I forgot.
Mr. Splendor?
Kevin, Imperial Settlers. Yes, a really good one. I like Imperial Settlers a lot.
Oh, another one. Machikoro.
Machikor is a good tableau builder.
You
Yes.
try to get more buildings into your city and make your city like a nice tableau of
Yes.
buildings.
There you go. Let's quickly get the terminology guide thing. What did we say? Tableau.
Tableau
Tableau
builder.
builder. Okay. A game where players form a tableau. A group of
Mhm.
items, usually cards or tiles, that provide them with actions or abilities. Each player chooses what items to put in their tableau to help their overall strategies. I think right now, actions and abilities and points would be that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Examples would be
Yes.
Machikoro. Yeah, good example.
Good example.
The
Okay.
the Splendor Wizard. I still laugh
The Splendor
when I
Wizard.
remember that story. And then Mark Ellis says, Red Rising is a tableau builder. Okay.
That would
Mm,
be a hand builder. But I guess it could be also that.
I think Red Rising is more of a drafting game only. You don't actually I don't know. I haven't played Red Rising.
What?
I haven't played Red Rising. I just know Red Rising. Do you use Yes, you do use them as powers, right? Some
Eh,
cards in your
I
hand
mean,
currently or at the end of the game.
at the end of the game,
Okay, so
the
it's not a
cards
tableau builder.
you usually activate it one at a time.
Okay.
It doesn't, like the way I see it. You don't collect the thing in Red Rising. You don't collect more cards. Usually, you have 5 cards, and at the end of the game, you still have 5 cards because you play one, you get one. There are some ways to get more cards, but it's rare.
Yeah.
So I think it's a hand management game.
Yeah. I would
But
say
again, we are
ngayon kasi sobrang hybrid na. To be honest, games are right now are very good mix of other games of other mechanics and to make a game like Red Rising which yung pagmash no mechanics are
yeah.
really clean, it means it's a good game. Jorm says Legend says that the Splendor Wizard is still searching for an unbeatable game. Okay,
Wow.
next we
How many
spin it.
words do we still have?
We're gonna do
Gateway game. Our favorite
gateway games.
gateway game. This is the game where you go to Cubao. Nah, joke. Gateway game is a game that you introduce to your friends as a starting point, a
Yeah,
gateway,
okay.
and you open the doors to the wonderful world of the board gaming hobby. And then you open the doors or the gate, they enter using your game. And that's the
Yeah.
gateway game.
Yeah.
Usually it's a
Generally,
game. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Generally easier than easier game or like a game that is uh parang the theme is relatable to other people or ano. But generally a gateway game is something any to be honest, any game that a certain person likes could be a gateway game.
Yes, definitely. What they call that? Um, we have discussed a lot of mechanics in this game, and then usually in each mechanic there's a gateway game, like the easiest to the easiest worker placement or the
Mhm.
easiest card drafting game. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of gateway games, and I guess the point of here is like any game is a gateway game as long as you like it and you teach it and you enjoy it.
As long as you get someone to into the
To
hobby. Yeah.
yes.
I will read that quickly kasi meron naman. A term used to identify a game that is suitable for someone fairly new to modern board gaming. With easy rules and accessible strategy, they can provide a useful starting point for those entering the hobby.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna do 5 more.
5 more. Okay.
5 more. There's this we have a lot.
Okay.
Mark Ellis says, I read that wrong. I thought it was getaway game.
Getaway game. So a
Something you
getaway
bring.
game is something you bring in a getaway, usually small box.
Sam says, number one criteria ko for gateway game is something that I can teach easily. That is a
Agree.
good one. If I can't teach it, it's not gateway. That's true. But to be honest, a gateway game can be like anything like Scythe. That could be a gateway game. As long as someone you're teaching it to is parang they want to learn it, something like
Yeah.
that.
And you can also take into account their background. For example, if their background is in video games or yeah,
Mhm.
for example, video games, you can take like the board game version of that, and then you
Yeah,
introduce it
that's true. Like
as
Horizon.
your
Horizon New Dawn, the board game is not the easiest to teach, but since it's someone who likes Horizon, maybe they can play that. It can be considered a gateway game.
But I agree
Okay.
in all of your points.
Our last 5. So okay. Mechanic or mechanism. This is basically the
What?
general term we use for the. This is very hard to actually to teach, no, just to define, to make the game work. Parang ito yung
This is the core rule. Yeah, I now realize that we have been talking. We said that we have mentioned mechanism
Mhm.
all throughout this episode, and we haven't discussed mechanic. So I think a mechanic is like the core rule, like the
Ah, that's a good one.
the type of rule that is implemented in a game.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think I can say anything. It's basically the core rule. I just repeated what you said. Anyway, for it to be better, it says used interchangeably, mechanic and mechanism. They refer to the
Mhm.
elements that make up a board game's design. Example would be dice placement or yung tiling that we said. A well-designed game will usually combine a number of different mechanics or mechanisms that, when combined with the rules, create a unique design. So it refers to the elements that make up a board game's design. The
Yeah.
core rules. Yeah, that's
The
a good.
core rule, yeah.
Sam says usually a term used to describe in a general sense how a game is played.
I agree. Totes
Uh,
agree.
4. That's 4.
Yeah, sure. Keep it coming.
Abstract game. Yeah, actually, this is a good one to say, no, kasi I've been using I've been using to say this term in our lives to explain certain board games, and sorry, nakita ko yung comment. An abstract game is basically a game where that's very hard to explain. The components are not exactly in connection with the theme.
Or very little theme at all.
Actually, there you go. No luck games. It could be also a zero luck evolved. To be honest, abstract games, do they have luck? There are luck in certain abstract. Yes, there could be luck in abstract games, to be honest. Right? Very little.
I am not sure if there's a luck-based abstract game. Anyway, the point here is abstract. It has no. The theme is either very little relation to the gameplay, or there's no theme at all, or you just have like circles, like a tic-tac-toe. A
Mm-hmm.
tic-tac-toe is it's an abstract game because you just have X's and O's.
Yeah. Ito yung natawa kong comment kasi at the end of the stream, the audience will be asked to get a 1/4 sheet of paper. We will have test on the definitions.
Yes.
Joram says zero luck involved is an abstract game. Kelvin says abstracts are no luck games like chess and checkers. And Sam says Santorino is abstract. So there is theme. Sabi ni Kelvin, War Chess has a little luck, but I don't consider it abstract. And then Joram says Santorini is an abstract game with a theme slapped on. Yeah. I think
Yeah, this is also another one to another hard definition to pin down, but I think there's like common threads that go along what is an abstract game.
yeah, just getting from like the word abstract. I think
Yeah.
the word abstract is very hard to but you know the term. It's
Yes.
just hard to explain. Let's just read it from this dude.
Yeah, would
the
the
article.
definition
It says,
enlighten us?
a game where the theme is very abstract. The most famous
Whoa.
example of an abstract strategy game is chess, where the theme bears little relation to the gameplay.
Chess.
They are often, though not entirely, skill-based. Luck plays no part, and the most skilled player will win. Interesting.
No luck.
Onitama, chess, quantum are examples.
So it's not theme that defines abstractness. It's
Theme
I don't-
and luck, I think.
theme and luck.
But I'm wondering kasi like I don't know, like Churro, is it an abstract game?
Now I don't know. I thought I had an idea of what it is an abstract game and what is not. Now I am
Yeah.
not sure. But at the end of the day, we may or may not agree on the definition because it's so abstract.
Abstract has perfect information, says Sam. And Joseph says Corridor. Yes, it is an abstract game. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I agree.
Hindi na sure no? Sam, abstract is very abstract. Yes. Abstract is
Yes.
very hard to very very hard to define. Joram says no hidden information. Can't Stop is not an abstract game then. Nope, since there is dice rolling.
Okay. Shall we move on to our
Yes, we shall move on kasi biglang sasabog na. So we have 3 more words left. But I hope
Yay.
medyo nahihimay natin yung
Yeah.
terms na.
Also, if you have like other terms that you have encountered that you can just comment below, or any other confusing action programming. Oh wow, it's in the list.
Sorry, wait lang. I had to search abstract. It means existing in thought or as an idea but not having physical or concrete existence.
Yeah.
Or a summary of yeah. That's the other noun.
Abstract.
Okay. Action programming.
Okay.
Action programming for me from programming is it's not an action programming game. Let's in terms of board games now is something that you plan the actions before they happen.
I agree.
That's my no. If you know Colt Express, there you go. That's one that's very popular. There you go. Joram says Colt Express.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the key word here is programming. So in programming, you have a set of rules,
Commands.
of commands.
Mhm.
You type them down, and then after that, after you've written them, you execute them.
Mhm.
And usually, when you're executing your program, you cannot interact with it. You just let it happen.
Mhm.
And in an action programming game, you have different choices of actions, and then you put them in order. Like this action goes first, this action goes second, third,
Yeah.
fourth, and so forth. So forth. And then you execute them, and usually it interacts with the other player's program. So for example, you're trying in Colt Express, you're trying to take a treasure, but say another player have taken the treasure already. So you have an action that does not do anything, and
Yeah.
then yeah, that's action programming.
Yeah. So
I believe.
basically, actions that you plan, and then when you start executing or when you execute it, you can't edit anymore. That's the.
Yes.
Sam says Galaxy Trucker and Quirky Circuits. Yes, they are action programming. Yes. Mechs and what's that? Mechs and minions.
Mechs and minions. Yeah, you have
Yeah, is
you
an action
you go
program.
through 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Let's see the term. It says instead of selecting actions one at a time, players must make plans for a number of turns ahead of time. This requires foresight and good planning, and the end result is often one of hilarity when you realize you've made a mistake, or else another player has deliberately or otherwise spoiled your plans. Examples of this are Colt Express and Robo Rally. Yes.
Robo Rally.
Mark Ellis says walk the plank. Yes, I think that's also an. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Last two. Pam.
Social deduction.
Yay!
Our
I like.
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. The first part of this game is social. So this game is you play it with many people and you interact with them. Because it's social. The next part is the deduction. So usually in this game, you receive hidden roles that other people don't know. A good example here is werewolf. So you play as villagers in a town, but one or more of you is actually a werewolf. And during the course of the game, you use your deductive skills and try to suss out who is actually the werewolf.
Yeah.
Social
There you go.
deduction.
Yeah, social deduction. Very minsan ano to? People get it confused with like just plain deduction games. Social deduction. Usually social deduct. If let's just define deduction first. Deduction is you're guessing. You're making
Yeah. You're using some clues and some hints or like micro expressions. You're
yeah.
using deduction to determine the roles.
Yeah. Yung deduction is making a decision with minimal or with the given information. I think that's the term of deduction. No?
Yeah.
Social is there to basically minsan sila yung nanggugulo, or it's more of it's a social thing. It's the people,
You play with the group, yeah.
the people then playing just the cards, if that makes sense. Yeah. Let's check the article. Nahirapan ako mag-explain.
It's okay.
Social like deduction. Games usually involve hidden roles and perhaps even hidden theme or traitor mechanics. They also usually require some amount of bluffing. Players work individually or in a team to deduce hidden information by logic and instinct. Examples of this is Werewolf and Avalon, the Resistance Avalon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are good social deduction games. If you played like Secret Hitler or even Don't Mess with the Cthulhu, usually
Hail Hydra.
these
Among
involve
Us.
talaga.
Not
yeah,
a board
Among
game,
Us.
but a social deduction
Yeah.
video game.
It usually involves watching people or hearing what people has to say. Yun. Kaya may social. Sam says, making an educated guess based on information obtained from interaction with other players. There you go.
Yes.
Very well said. Two Rooms and a Boom. Very good social deduction game that you can really play in a big party. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, last two terms. And then yung iba will just go through quickly. If you want. Dice. This one we can go
placement.
quickly. This is basically worker placement. So if you listen to our explanation kanina, it's worker placement, but this time it's dice, and usually the pips do some they set the level of your
Power.
worker of power dun sa worker. Yeah.
Like a six die would be a stronger die, and then it's a worker that is
Yeah.
stronger than a
It's
one
basically
pip
a work.
die.
Yeah, basically it's a worker placement but with powers, level of powers ng workers. Let's check dice placement. Pero naisip ko lang bigla ngayon. Dice placement can also be just placing dice. Like, what is that called? Sagrada. Anyway, dice placement. This is effectively a subcategory of worker placement, where
Okay.
players place dice instead of meeples to take actions. Often,
Oh.
players roll their personal selection of dice at the start of a round. Those rolls then dictate what actions they may perform. Unlike traditional roll and move games, like Monopoly, for example, players will usually have ways to mitigate unfortunate rolls, so it is not unfairly based on luck. There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's explained
a
well.
good example is Castles of Burgundy.
Castles of
So you
Burgundy.
roll your die and then you assign it, and then the value of die would get you something based on the value of die.
Or for some of the newer games, it like brew, it depends on the action placed on the die, so it could be like that also. And our last term that will explain na may deep dive.
Miniature.
Okay, a miniature is a token usually representing a player or a actually hindi no.
A miniature is a sculpture, basically,
Yeah, but it's
of something like a monster, a warrior. It could be also a building, and
Yeah.
you put it into your board game to increase the table presence, like the beauty of the game.
Yeah. I think it's a glorified meeple if you want a quick
Or a token.
explanation.
Yeah, I think
a glorified token.
you
Yeah,
can
token.
replace the miniatures with tokens, but the miniatures makes it more nice.
Quickly, let's check what it says. Pieces crafted out of plastic, metal, or wood usually feature high levels of detail and are used to improve the aesthetics and immersion in certain types of board games. You know what? We're gonna spin one more, but before that, John Dominic has a question. He's asking,
Sure.
are roll and write considered dice placement? I thought about it while seeing your comment, and I would say yes.
You roll and then you
Yeah.
write.
Yes.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yes. Dice placement, you're basically instead of what roll and writes in general, yung genre, no? Basically, they're dice placement games, but instead of you taking these dice, you're writing on the paper. Kung ano yung nagre-represent ng dice na yan. What's nice about doing that kasi is you can actually combine two dice to, let's say, a 2 and a 4 to put it as a 6 on your paper. But it essentially is still a dice placement game. Caveat, not all roll and writes are dice placement, but roll and writes can be dice placement also. Yeah. Not all are dice placement, if that makes sense. Madami kasing roll and write games na ngayon that doesn't really just get the dice and place it on your table. Yeah. Okay, our last one. Ito na, legit na last one. Medyo ano yung miniature eh. Ooh, yay!
Semi-cooperative.
There you go.
I think before we discuss semi-cooperative, we discuss cooperative
Let's
first.
go. Yeah.
So cooperative is a game where all the players work together to
To win.
fulfill
goal.
a goal or an objective. That's cooperative. Now, what is semi-cooperative? Semi-cooperative, same thing. All players are working together. However, maybe one or more people are not really working together with the group.
Yeah.
So they are. It's the semi part, like.
Yeah. Usually, this involves like sabotage or
sabotage or a
lying,
hidden
bluffing, pretending to be part of the group.
Yeah.
That's semi-cooperative. There are games that are semi-cooperative. Okay, here. The semi-cooperative, let's take it from the cooperative. You try to fulfill a goal, but you have a personal goal. That's I think that's the best. There are games kasi like let's say Dead of Winter. I mean I know it's a bit iffy, but you don't win if you don't do your personal goal. That's how the
Yeah, so
board game is
para
designed.
you're like it's not a full co-op. Because full co-op, you're just gonna work together. Semi co-op, you're gonna do something that maybe either directly conflicts with the main objective, which is a traitor mechanic, or you do something that will only benefit yourself.
Yes.
Like say, Legendary, the Legendary the card game.
Yes.
Because it's cooperative, you want to work together to defeat the villain. However, you want to like
You
score
still score
more
points. Yeah.
points for yourself.
That is one. Although I play that as a cooperative game only, but yes, it in the rule book it does say that whoever scored the most points or whoever smacked the most villains wins the game. We have a couple of examples. Joram says Cutthroat Caverns.
Mhm.
Joseph says Nemesis.
Nemesis, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Joram says co-op game but with only one winner. Not necessarily. In
Could
Dead of
be.
Winter, you can win with more. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
it
mean,
could
could
be
be.
one winner. Yeah. And Sam says Betrayal and Dead of Winter. Yeah. Yung Dead of Winter is one of the main examples of a semi-cooperative game. Yan. Okay. So since we've done that, we've done also cooperative. I think we should quickly go through the rest. Hold up.
Okay,
Cooperative.
do we still have time?
Very, very quickly lang.
Okay,
Semi-cooperative. Let's read it. It says this is broadly split into two categories. One, games where players have to work together to accomplish certain tasks but are still attempting to win the game by themselves. There you go. And then, or games where players are striving for sole victory but sometimes have to work together to prevent all players from losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead of Winter. Okay, very quickly. Filler game.
A game
Games.
that you play in between bigger, heavier games.
Yeah, usually like 5 to 10 to 15 minutes na quick game. King making.
King making is bad. If it's like you're not gonna win, you
Make someone else
make
win.
someone else the winner.
There you go. Basically sacrificing your whole game to choose the winner of the game.
Yeah.
Alpha gamer.
Alpha gamer in a cooperative game, the one that dictates everyone what to do.
Yeah.
So that's
Usually
the alpha.
you don't want to be alpha gamer if you're playing a cooperative game. So usually
That's
this
also
is the
bad.
person. Yeah, that's also bad. Analysis paralysis.
That's when you take a long time thinking of a certain turn because the game is like, oh, how do I get the most points if I do this, and do that?
Yeah,
You are
usually
paralyzed by your analysis.
yeah, overthinking basically. AP as we call it
Or
in
AP.
quicker terms. Deck builder.
A deck builder is a game. Oh, a game wherein the core mechanic is you build a deck.
That you can use to win the game.
Wait.
Sa sabog.
No, because it's different from. Anyway, I don't. Do you want? Let's check the definition.
General. Let's do deck builder. Deck builder, a lighter game that focuses on joke lang. Deck builder, that's dexterity. Deck builder, deck or pool building is a mechanism in which players start the game with a predetermined set of cards or player pieces and add to or adapt those items over the course of the game. Basically, you're making a deck or a pool. Many deck building games provide the players with the currency that they use to buy new items that are integrated into the deck or the pool, making it a better deck or a better pool. These new resources generally expand the capabilities of the player and allow the player to build an engine to drive their future plays in the course of the game, like Star Realms and automobiles. So I like that he mentioned automobiles. That's one of my favorite pool building game. Yan.
I just tilted because I was thinking of what's the difference between, like, say, a clank versus a magic.
I don't think deck builder in board game sense yung MTG. That's
Yeah.
my take. Yeah.
So
Anyway.
I feel that the core part here is the game itself is there are rules and then you build your deck within the game.
Yes.
While there are other games that you build the deck outside of the
Outside.
game and then you
There you
play
go.
the game.
There you go.
Yeah,
Deck builder
there you go.
versus deck construction, says Sam.
Deck construct. Yeah.
Damn.
Sam, you're the best.
Last one is dexterity game.
Oh, this is
Usually a lighter game that uses parts of your body.
hands
your
or
dexterity.
your forehead.
It's usually a
Uh,
light game. Very
Jenga or stick stack or
yeah. It
a lot
tests
of
your
it.
dexterity.
yeah, you can either flick things, you can move things using your hand. Rhino Hero is a dexterity game.
Yes.
A lot of fun party games are dexterity game.
There you
But
go.
wow,
That's the whole list. That was fun. Actually, that was really
that
fun.
is fun.
Very
I hope
challenging.
you guys learned a lot.
Yeah. A lot of these are terms that we usually hear na kasi. So to explain it, it's kind of difficult. But I hope you guys learned and had fun with us. Speaking of, sorry, singit ko lang. May
Sure.
news, may Kickstarter now, Hero Realms Digital. If you wanna check it out, nasa
Ooh.
Kickstarter. Really cool. They put in the campaign already. I think I missed out on the news lang. Hindi ko nasabi kanina. But you can check it out. Hero Realms Digital is coming out very soon. You can play it on August na if you back the Kickstarter.
And Hero Realms is a deck building game, right?
It is. That's why
Yeah, there you go.
I guess that's it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned with Duane and I. I'll see you guys on Wednesday where we're gonna do play or pass.
Pass.
Yeah. So if you guys wanna vote on which games we will review on Player Pass, please check out GLive Game Night Community on Facebook and also join our Discord. Please do subscribe and follow us on our YouTube, Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok.
Facebook.
Also, we have K-pop sleeves in now. So if you wanna follow us on Twitter, you can follow us on Sultan Supply PH. Peace. Ang dami ko siningat. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank
See you guys
you.
on Wednesday. Peace.